Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that you walk into a room and no one sees you, not because you are invisible, obviously not, but because they choose not to see you. And why? Because society has conditioned them to believe that age diminishes presence, that experience renders you irrelevant, that maturity makes you fade rather than stand out. Red is the color of command, the color of desire, the color of life itself. It is deeply embedded in human psychology as a signal of vitality, attraction, and power. There is a reason why red is associated with urgency, dominance, and passion. It is the color of blood, the very essence of existence, and the color of fire, which both destroys and creates. When a woman wears red, she is not merely dressing. She is sending a message, a biological, psychological, and cultural message that demands attention. Men, whether they realize it or not, are primed to respond to red. It triggers something ancient, something instinctual. Studies in evolutionary psychology have demonstrated that men perceive women in red as more attractive, more engaging, more alive. This is not simply fashion, it is science. And beyond that, it is power. A woman who understands the effect of red is a woman who understands the art of perception. She does not shrink into the background. She does not allow herself to be overlooked. She steps forward and the world takes notice. But wearing red is not just about being seen. It is about embodying the qualities that red represents: energy, confidence, and passion. It is not a color for those who wish to be passive, for those who seek to disappear. It is a statement, and when an older woman wears red, she is making it very clear. She is still here, still vibrant, and still someone to be reckoned with. Deep blue is the color of authority, wisdom, and quiet strength. It is the color of the vast ocean and the endless night sky, both forces that inspire awe and demand respect. Unlike louder, more aggressive colors, deep blue does not need to shout to be heard. It is a presence in itself, one that commands attention through depth rather than intensity. When an older woman wears deep blue, she is not merely wearing a shade, she is wearing a symbol of intelligence, composure, and resilience. Men are naturally drawn to what they perceive as stable and enduring. In a world of fleeting distractions, deep blue represents something unshaken, something solid. It signals competence, experience, and a mind that has been tested by time and emerged even stronger. This is why blue is so often associated with leadership, with trust, with responsibility. It is the color of someone who has seen much, learned much, and remains unmoved by the trivial. Wearing deep blue sends a clear message. There is depth here, a richness of thought and experience that is not easily ignored. It is not the color of impulsive youth, but of calculated wisdom. It does not beg for attention, it earns it. And when a woman wears deep blue with confidence, she does not have to prove herself with words. Her presence alone is enough to make men stop, take notice, and recognize that they are in the company of someone who truly understands the weight of her own existence. Emerald green is a color of duality, embodying both vibrancy and mystery. It is the color of nature at its peak, of flourishing life, of something that continues to grow rather than wither. Unlike the starkness of black or the intensity of red, emerald green carries a quiet allure. It is bold but not overbearing, commanding yet approachable. When an older woman wears this color, she signals renewal, intelligence, and a captivating sense of depth that draws people in, particularly men who are attuned to something rare and intriguing. Psychologically, green represents stability and harmony, but emerald green in particular adds an element of richness. It is neither youthful nor aged. It sits at the intersection of experience and vitality. It tells the world that the woman wearing it is grounded but not stagnant, wise but still evolving. In the presence of emerald green, a man does not merely see, he notices, a sense is. A sense is something layered, something worth understanding, something that does not reveal itself all at once. The color's association with precious gemstones is no coincidence. Emeralds are rare, valuable, and sought after, just like a woman who carries herself with poise, wisdom, and an air of mystery. When a woman chooses emerald green, she is not making an impulsive choice. She is making a statement of refinement and quiet confidence. She is reminding the world and herself that she is not fading into the background, but rather deepening into a presence that is impossible to overlook. Burgundy is a color of depth, sophistication, and understated sensuality. It carries the intensity of red but tempers it with wisdom and restraint, making it a perfect choice for a woman who understands her own power without the need for ostentation. Unlike the bright fiery red of youthful impulsiveness, burgundy is the shade of experience, of richness, of something that has aged and refined over time, like a fine wine or a well-crafted story. When an older woman wears burgundy, she does not demand attention, she commands it. It is the color of allure that does not chase, of confidence that does not need validation. There is a weight to burgundy, a sense of depth that suggests there is more beneath the surface. Men, consciously or not, recognize this. They see in it a quiet, compelling magnetism that is not easily dismissed. It is the kind of attraction that lingers, that makes one want to look again, to understand more, to appreciate what is not immediately obvious. Burgundy speaks to a woman who has lived, who has felt deeply, and who carries her experiences not as burdens, but as elements of her richness. It is not just a color, it is a signal, one that conveys wisdom, elegance, and a sensuality that is far more powerful than mere youth. When a woman chooses burgundy, she is telling the world that she is not only present, but that she is someone worth remembering. Charcoal gray is the color of quiet authority, the embodiment of strength that does not seek approval. It carries the weight of experience without the need for excessive display, making it one of the most powerful colors an older woman can wear. Unlike black, which can sometimes be too severe, or lighter grays, which may feel passive, charcoal gray strikes the perfect balance. It exudes confidence, intelligence, and an unshakable sense of self. Men are drawn to stability, whether they acknowledge it or not. In a world where so much is fleeting, where trends change and distractions multiply, there is something undeniably attractive about a presence that is steady, composed, and unwavering. Charcoal gray represents precisely that. It is the color of sophistication, of a woman who does not need to prove her worth because her presence alone makes it clear. It is not loud, yet it is impossible to ignore. When a woman wears charcoal gray, she sends a message of resilience. It suggests a mind that is sharp, a will that is unbreakable, and a presence that carries weight. It does not seek to seduce in the traditional sense, but it captivates nonetheless. There is power in restraint, in knowing that attraction is not always about being the loudest in the room, but about being the one whose presence lingers long after she has left. That is the essence of charcoal gray, a color that does not fade, but instead leaves a lasting impression. Gold is the color of rarity, of value, of something that stands apart. It is not merely a shade, it is a declaration. It has been associated with wealth and status for centuries, but beyond material riches, it signifies something far more profound. The richness of experience, the glow of wisdom, and the radiance of a presence that cannot be ignored. When an older woman wears gold, she is not just choosing a color. She is embracing a symbol of legacy, of significance, of something that has been shaped and refined by time. Men instinctively recognize gold as a marker of importance. It is the color of crowns, of medals, of the things that civilizations have treasured throughout history. But in a woman, it is not just about opulence, it is about energy. Gold reflects light. It catches the eye and it creates an aura of warmth and confidence. It suggests that the woman wearing it understands her own worth, that she has nothing to prove, yet everything to offer. This is not the loud, fleeting confidence of youth, but the steady, undeniable presence of someone who has lived, who has seen, who has earned her place. A touch of gold, whether in fabric, accessories, or jewelry, sends a powerful message. It tells the world that she is not fading into the background, but rather shining in a way that only time, wisdom, and self-assurance can allow. And that, in itself, is something no one can ignore. Lavender is a color that exists in a space between worlds, neither overly bold nor quietly subdued, neither entirely warm nor strictly cool. It carries an air of unpredictability, making it one of the most intriguing colors a woman can wear. Unlike deeper purples, which can feel heavy with formality, or softer pastels, which may read as delicate, lavender strikes an elegant balance. It suggests mystery, intellect, and a refined confidence that does not seek to impress, but naturally captivates. There is something undeniably alluring about a presence that cannot be immediately categorized, and lavender creates precisely that effect. Men, often drawn to what they understand at first glance, find themselves subtly compelled by something they cannot immediately define. The color hints at complexity, at depth, at a personality that is both gentle and powerful. It suggests wisdom without arrogance, femininity without fragility, and confidence without the need for dominance. Lavender is also associated with calmness and sophistication, qualities that indicate emotional stability and inner strength. A woman who wears it does not have to fight for attention. Rather, she creates an energy that invites curiosity. She is not chasing the spotlight, but she is also not hidden in the shadows. Instead, she exists in a space that draws people in, leaving them wondering what lies beneath the surface. And in a world where so much is predictable, that quiet enigma is one of the most powerful attractions of all. White is the color of clarity, of presence, of something that stands untouched by time. It is both stark and soft, commanding attention while remaining effortlessly refined. Unlike darker colors that absorb light, white reflects it, making it a symbol of illumination, openness, and confidence. When an older woman wears white, she is not trying to blend in, she is making a statement of poise, of certainty, of a kind of elegance that does not require embellishment. There is a reason why white is associated with power in its purest form. It is worn by leaders, by visionaries, by those who carry an air of distinction. It suggests a woman who is unapologetically herself, one who has no need for excessive ornamentation because her presence alone is enough. White is not just a color, it is an assertion of clarity, of wisdom, of a life lived with intention. Men are drawn to white for reasons they may not fully understand. It represents something untouchable yet inviting, something that feels both strong and graceful. It demands attention without force, leaving an impression of quiet strength. A woman in white does not seek validation, she exudes self-assurance. She does not fade into the background, she stands out with effortless authority. In a world full of noise, white is the color of someone who no longer needs to shout, because the weight of her presence speaks louder than words ever could.